Well, we're back for session 2 on what to do with all of those seasonal tomatoes. I can remember what my mama used to do with them. She would freeze some, she would can some, she would use them for soup. What did your mama do with all of them?
Canning and making soup and some sauce, spaghetti sauce. She would can spaghetti sauce.
And when you say sauce, it reminds me, seems like my mother used to make something she called tomato relish.
Yes,
And you ate it on peas and butter beans.
I forgot about that.
But I am not much of a canner and not always much of a freezer, but I like to use it while it's fresh. So today, our second little item we want to share with you is just a little take on the regular tomato sandwich. And this recipe came from my sister-in-law who had it at a women's luncheon. And she was telling us about it, and I asked her what the name of it was, and she said cracker salad. I didn't think that sounded very foo-foo for a ladies' luncheon, but we've been making it and variations of it for the last several years. So what I wanted you to see is this one we are using. You can use any tomato you've got. Works well with the ones that may have been bruised or split that you have to kind of chop around. But these are 2 of the Cherokee purples, the heirloom tomatoes. And all you do, you take your pie plate, very simple, and there's really no quantity here. But Yvonne, if you would, put our tomatoes in. You just throw in whatever will cover the bottom of your pie plate, and you might, if you like more tomato, you put a few more. If you like less, you put a few less. It's sort of like making your sandwich. You make it to suit yourself. So throw your tomatoes in. And you don't have to worry about picking out the onion, because the next thing you're gonna do is throw that diced onion right on top of it. We diced our tomatoes, we diced our onion, and throw it in, and I would think this is a Vidalia. You wanna use a sweet onion for this because you're using it raw. Then our next move, and I'll get you something to wipe your hands, because that's where you are. Take your salt and pepper, and just salt and pepper it the same way you would if you were making your sandwich. And of course, everybody can adjust that when they get ready to eat. So get it salted, get it peppered.
It's not a very free flow for me. I like a little heavier pepper.
There, and you know, everybody's different there, but throw a little in. Then the next thing we're gonna do is she's taken a half cup of mayonnaise. And that you want to adjust to whatever your, how much mayonnaise you prefer, whatever brand you prefer. I know some people think it's not tomato season if they don't have Duke's, but I think this is Kraft. We use whatever we've got. And the original recipe, you just put your mayonnaise and spread it over the top of your onion and tomato mixture. But what I found is if you will put just a splash of vinegar. We're gonna use balsamic today, which you don't wanna use too much balsamic because of the color. It might be a little unappetizing. Just splash. That's plenty. She's gonna mix that up really well. You could use red wine vinegar, white wine vinegar. You can even use just distilled vinegar, whatever you've got at home. But that will take your mayonnaise and thin it out enough that it makes it just a little more spreadable. So you wanna mix that up, and you wanna throw it on top of this. And it's one of those things that you're not really looking for presentation so much here. It's just combination of flavors. Some people may want a little more mayonnaise than that, and if you do, you can certainly come back and add some more if it doesn't look like quite enough. But we're gonna take it, and she's gonna spread it, and just spread it on around as much as you can. One thing we sometimes do at home, if I have bacon bits, I'll add that to my tomato onion mixture. If I have maybe back to ham and have some ham I can dice up, I'll add it to the mixture. And for that matter, if you like cheese, you can even put a little shredded cheese. It's all up to you. So once you get your mayonnaise on, what Yvonne did was she took a sleeve of crackers and crushed them with the rolling pin. It's just saltine crackers, but I have used Ritz, just whatever I have. And she's going to spread that over the top. We were talking earlier about making this. If you make it early in the day, You may wanna wait to put your crackers on until right before you serve it. That's probably plenty. Let's just take
Think
our
so.
hand and whip them around. The crackers do tend to get soggy, but my crowd at home, they'll even eat it if the cracker is soggy. It's kinda like that white bread tomato sandwich that gets soggy in your hands also. But that is all there is to it. Simple, simple, simple.